What is up everyone? This is my first video where I joined the bandwagon of people making Reddit videos. Please give a warm welcome to my voice Daniel and let's begin. Which was your worst, I knew I shouldn't have done this moment? Got distracted while my wok with some oil in it was heating up. When I snapped back to reality my hand just automatically threw in the dried chili flakes. It was like an out-of-body experience, my brain couldn't stop my hand in time. And that's how I mace myself and the dog. I did something similar. We were having a Halloween party and I was making jalapeno poppers. De-seeding them and putting the seeds in the garbage disposal. After about 40 jalapenos I turn on the hot water and the garage disposal creating a nice steamy mace. Forcing about 20 people out of the house. When I was 6 years old and stuck my little finger in a pencil sharpener and twisted it a few times like it was a pencil. I nearly passed out. Maybe you realized at an early age that you weren't that sharp. You just reminded me of a classmate in 2nd grade. He was newer so I guess he felt he had something to prove. He managed to get the stapler off the teacher's desk and unfolded it so he could shoot him at people while the teacher was out of the room for a short bit. Of course we ask him to stop, but he says something like why? It's not like it hurts, and pushes the stapler into his palm. He didn't cry in front of us, I'll give him that, but he did not insist it didn't hurt and asked for the nurse as soon as the teacher returned. I don't think I've seen anyone turn that shade of red since. My stapler once got jammed so I removed all the staples then tried to unjam it by forcing it. It didn't occur to me that a staple was the thing jamming it. I ended up having a single staple with one end in one thumb and the other end in my other thumb. Worst pain I've ever felt and no spare hand to remove it. I literally stapled my hands together. I've done this before. Stapled my damn thumbs together. Had to pull it out with my teeth and never told anyone. I touched the coil in a toaster with a knife while it was switched on. When the power in the house cut out, I thought I should not have done that. When I told my father what I'd done, I knew for sure I should not have done that. Did he beat you with jumper cables? Bully started walking away and my amazing brain came up with, yeah you better walk away. He then turned around and I shat bricks. Should have picked him up and thrown him at him. I was working as a stuntman and it was my last performance with a particular stunt group. They wanted me to do a particularly dangerous version of a stunt that I was pretty uncomfortable with. I'd done the regular version thousands of times and could practically do it in my sleep. I agreed to do it because it was just the one time. What were the odds of me being hurt doing it just the one time, I thought. Later that day I was in the second hospital, after being airlifted from the first because my injuries were too severe for it. Had literally a gallon of blood transfusions, they weighed me before and after, and life-saving surgery. If you have a bad feeling about something, take it seriously. I was about 5 years old and the next-door neighbors took me to meet their horses. The mom gave very clear and explicit instructions on how to be near and handle the horses and proceeded to start to brush one of them. In my infinite wisdom I walked behind the horse and very timidly grazed its beautiful tail with my small hand. That's the day I became the 1978 Connecticut State Rodeo Champion. With lightning speed I was hit with a force I wouldn't again feel until as an adult I was in a car accident. I was launched out of the stall and halfway across the common area. As I lay stunned, gasping for breath I knew I shouldn't have done that. Not gonna lie dude, it's a wonder you're alive. A horse kick to the skull can be deadly, let alone to a child. Children are fairly durable, they bounce back fast. See that dent in the kid's skull? Just apply some pressure to the sides of his head and it pops back out real easy. Just blow into their mouth like a water bottle. 7th grade I accepted a dare to slap this girl on the butt. Turns out the principal was like 10 feet behind me and saw the whole thing. Took me straight to his office but something else came up and he told me he'd come pull me out of class later to discuss further. Enough time goes by that I assume he forgot. When he eventually shows up, he catches me looking at naked villages in a National Geographic. It's a vague memory, I think I was around 3 or 4, maybe 5. I had this big goof of a German Shepherd who was my best friend and guardian, but who liked to eat bugs and lizards. We were living in Nicaragua, and so bugs and lizards were not in short supply. I don't know why I decided to copy the dog, but I saw a huge spider and decided to eat it. I have this memory that I'm sure has been exaggerated, but I clearly remember my little heart clasping a huge spider by the abdomen, legs sticking out between my fingers, and popping it into my mouth. I bit down, chewed, and still to this day have a vivid memory of the legs dangling out of my mouth as I ate this giant. It tasted awful, and it felt so terrible to bite down onto. I have occasional nightmares about it now, and I'm in my mid-40s. I want to time travel just to tell 3 or 4-year-old me, don't eat that spider, don't eat absolutely massive spiders folks. You'll regret it. If I ever have the power to time travel, I'm gonna go back and unread this comment. And then maybe find little you and stop this, barf. I offered to teach the new guy at the hospital how to take a body down the freezer. We only had 4 freezers and on this particular day they were all full. It was 1 a.m. when we got down there and realized this. Protocol is when all the freezers are full, you have to take the body out that's been in the freezer the longest and put it on the harvesting table. Well, the gentleman who had passed from alcohol poisoning was roughly 300 pounds and was unfortunately the one who had been in there the longest. So the security guard, myself, and the trainee had to lift this guy out of the bottom freezer and onto the harvesting table and then carry 6 trash bags full of ice from the kitchen back to the morgue. We didn't leave until 3 a.m. and the trainee quit the following day. I was walking down the aisle and he wasn't even making eye contact with me, he was staring at his shoes. It took me way too long to realize you were talking about a wedding, thought at first you were trying to flirt or something while shopping. While sailing I saw a gust of wind incoming and thought I could handle it, so decided to push my luck. Needless to say we capsized. I was single-handing a 36-foot sloop with a deep keel and I pushed my luck. Knocked it flat, dunked the wind vane at the top of the mast and somehow it righted itself. I had to ride out the storm while desperately bringing in sails that were tangled as don't F with the wind god, he will eat you. The toilet is opposite the laundry hamper in my bathroom. I was getting undressed for a shower and casually tossed my socks into the toilet. As soon as they left my hands, I let out a strangled no, which sent my husband running in to start laughing at me for the rest of the night. Going to a music festival. Bathroom. F me, some of the most dangerous times ever. 3 days at a festival. Through sheer force of will, I didn't poop the whole time. I was smugly proud of my rectal integrity. 15 years later and I'm in my late 30s, I've pooped myself twice in 3 years. Granted, I was super sick both times, but I feel like my younger butthole could have held back the liquid hate brewing inside my bowels instead of giving up when I was 3 feet away from safety. As someone who is Mexican, lives in Wisconsin and is lactose intolerant, anytime I decide to consume a dairy product. And no, the pills do not stop the impending doom that is butt lava. But what am I gonna do, quit pizza? F outta here. I ate 3 packs of noodles with 12 meatballs in 20 minutes. I'm assuming college is in this context for some reason. Nobody wants to admit they ate 9 cans of ravioli. Constipation intensifies. I asked my female friend to chill during an argument. And you still draw breath? Was hanging downtown with my older brother and his friend. A cop was slowly rolling by us. My brother friend was like, why is he looking at us? So I look and saw the cop was driving away. I turned to the cop car and shouted, the F you looking at? The cop car immediately stopped, turns out his windows were down. Got off with only a stern warning. And that's it. Hope you enjoy this masterpiece of a video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below or else Daniel will get sad. Yes, I'm playing this Fluffing a Duck song until we reach the 10-minute mark. Got a problem?